We all live in a world that is cruel, hard, challenging, and lived day by day, and often it's a cycle that repeats itself daily. Wake up in the morning, go to work, finish work, go home, rest, and go to sleep. Then repeat the next day, and so on. Simply put, life is not easy. We all live this type of life in one way or another. Usually, it is repetitive, and the meaning of life is questioned. Once you start to question the meaning of life, is the time you have lost yourself. When you lose yourself, it is hard to come back. This means you have lost your purpose, and that is a dark position to be in. Bring yourself out of darkness by forming ideas, strategies in order to find yourself and your purpose. Remember to meditate daily, exercise regularly, and eat healthier meals. At the end of the day, your life is yours. Don't ever let anyone dictate how you live your life or how your future will be shaped. Definitely, take on board what your parents say to you, the good things that you feel are best for you, and integrate it into your life. But live it the way you want to live and learn from mistakes and be stronger and wiser in the future. This is the only way you grow into a better, much improved version of yourself. Picture this scenario of a person growing up. Let's name him Johnny. Johnny has been taught by his parents to stay in school, to work hard, and achieve great results so that he can go to a prestigious university and get a degree. Johnny has not been taught about personal finance and the concept of financial freedom. This belief is centered around status and attaining a high-paying job. It is a great achievement getting to this level. If Johnny studied hard and worked hard, he will fulfill his parents' wishes and get a degree and a high-paying job. Then once he has achieved this career milestone, him and his girlfriend purchase an expensive family car and a house together, and are locked in an expensive $2 million home on a 30-year mortgage. They eventually get married and have their first child 3 years later. Johnny has fulfilled all the criteria of following the system and expectations of society. In the moment, and on paper looks to be the perfect life, having a lovely home, lovely wife and kids, and great career and high-income earner. The other side is the unsung reality of life where you have put yourself in the rat race and a repetitive cycle. The time will come that doing something over and over again and again will lead to burnout, depression, stress, and family breakdown. What Johnny has not yet realized, he has to continue using his time for money by working his job for the next 20 to 30 years to pay off his mortgage loan. Not to mention the rising cost of living and having to pay for his car loan and family-related expenses. Johnny begins to be burnt out and not having a plan B to get out of this vicious cycle he is now in. He feels so burned out he hardly finds any time for his wife and kids, and his wife begins to resent him. He spends most of his time working in his job just so he can afford to pay his monthly repayments and all household expenses. He never had the time to fully learn and grasp the idea of effective money management. Most of us don't and are so laser-focused on one thing, such as our working jobs, we never stop to think about other things such as financial freedom. You ask everyone if they want to be financially free, sure, they will almost certainly answer yes. However, you dig deeper into their answer, it is just a dream, and that is usually the closest they ever get to it, and they never take the time to educate themselves, learn and grow, and adopt the mindset necessary to make it a reality. They never put it into action. You will only truly achieve financial freedom if you make it your purpose. Making it your purpose means you want it that badly, that you will do anything to make it a reality for your life. That is continuously educating yourself, learning from others and from mistakes, and growing from them, adopting an abundance mindset and keeping yourself healthy spiritually, physically, and mentally by choosing healthier meals, regularly exercising and lifting and keeping a fresh mind. It is certainly not easy, but is 100% achievable if you make it your purpose. This is the life path I have chosen, and currently on, and I have made it my #1 priority and purpose. Continuously educating and learning, adopting strategies that are conducive to my goals, and purchasing assets rather than liabilities. Once I have achieved what I need to achieve, then I can confidently build my family and have kids of my own, knowing that I can easily support the family financially without having to trade my time for money. This is what financial freedom provides to you, that you have created enough passive income streams to be able to comfortably retire from your day job or just work on your own terms when you want, and not because you have to. When you get to this point, you have so much more control over your life and choices in life, and have more time for self-care and spending quality time with family and friends. This is what life is truly all about. When you free up most of your time not having to work for money, then you can focus on the things that matter most in life, and that is family, friends, and your health. The journey has had plenty of ups and downs, many challenges and roadblocks along the way, but I have stayed cool, calm, and collected, weathered the storm, and got back up and fought even harder to get through and win. In the case of Johnny, the problem is not the life he chose, but not taking the time to educate himself and gather knowledge around personal finance and effective money management. You notice all the things he purchased in life were liabilities and never took the time to purchase any investments or assets to build any form of wealth. Majority of his money has been tied down to paying his mortgage and household expenses, and maybe a little amount to savings account, and thus his net worth is never improving. Many people are living this way, and this is how the system is designed to keep you poor. Reshape your life. Empower yourself by taking the time to read books. Many of these books I recommend are on my channel in the form of book summaries. Please take the time to listen to each one, but I highly recommend you read these books for yourself, as they are well worth it. These books have been an eye-opener for me, taught me a lot about personal finance, and have adopted the mindset necessary to achieve my goals. At the end of the day, it is the mindset that will get you there. Through tough times, the grit, heart, and determination will all help to fulfill your purpose. How the system is built to keep us working and trading our time for money. We may experience a pay rise, and with this pay rise provides a false sense of worth in the workplace, as it's often minimal and not in line with inflation and cost of living pressures. However, it encourages us to spend more. The more you earn means the more you spend. You may blow over budget over something that only provides temporary happiness. This is known as the hedonic treadmill or adaptation. The hedonic treadmill is the tendency for humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness, even though a major positive event has occurred. This suggests that while happiness levels may increase after the positive event, such as purchasing a material thing, this happiness is short-lived due to eventually adapting to these changes. They will return back to baseline levels of happiness. This is the same for negative events where we may experience unhappiness. This theory implies that any positive or negative changes in life are all short-lived, as we adapt to these changes and our levels restore back to normal. Therefore, no amount of anything in the world can cause eternal happiness, and thus it is best not to keep pursuing these sorts of things in life. It is more wiser and meaningful living life simply and wisely. Traditionally, just like our friend Johnny, there has always been the mindset and teachings instilled in all of us growing up during childhood. That is, you must study hard in school so you can get to university and get your degree. This will enable you to get a high-paying job and stay in the workforce. Work in that job that you may dread or hate and feel is going nowhere. You may have mixed emotions such as apprehension, stress, anxiety, and burnout. This can lead to a feeling of worthlessness, decreased motivation, and even depression. They may hand out grants or financial support to make it enticing to go to university and study and earn a degree. This makes sure you are following the system's rules to stay in the workforce. We are encouraged to work hard for our family to pay down the home loan, provide for the family, and put food on the table. Be the breadwinner. This system is designed in a way to keep you poor, ensure you remain in the cycle of working hard, trading your time for money. The system needs you to keep working until retirement age, which continues to rise. The current retirement age in Australia is 67 years old. When you reach this age, you may retire and can finally access your superannuation tax-free. In my previous video, The Truth About Home Ownership, I mentioned that the government encourages you to purchase an owner-occupied home as barriers to entry are reduced to make it more enticing to purchase. These are things like government first homeowner grants for newer properties and stamp duty exemption. This is less than when purchasing an asset such as investment property or business. Usually, a mortgage loan term is 30 years. This encourages the homeowner to continue working and trading their time for money to earn an income. This is to keep you in the workforce and keep the economy running. As you earn more and work more, you are taxed more, and you end up spending more too. This means more money to the government, and the home loan interest you are paying the banks means the banks are getting richer. When you work a job and you own a home with a mortgage, you are essentially working hard for the government in form of taxes and working hard for the lender, usually a bank, in the form of interest repayments. Although when you purchase your home, the title is under your name, but reality is the banks own the property as the loan is secured against that property. If you cannot make repayments, the banks have power to repossess that property and sell it on your behalf. The system is not broken. It is designed to keep you dependent. It trusts you to remain in debt, not to take full control of your life and finances. You are essentially forced to work as you need to meet financial obligations, such as paying mortgage repayments. Lenders don't care about your job or degree you hold. Their main concern is business, and that is making sure you spend 20 to 30 years paying them interest repayments. Do you ever realize it is much harder to own a business or purchase other assets such as investment property? This is because the system is not designed for you to do this. They want you to keep working and earning more money so the government can tax you more money. There are more barriers to entry when it comes to purchasing a business. It challenges the norm, and owning a business changes that. A business means freedom and more control over day-to-day operations and cash flow. This will hopefully buy you more time and leverage to scale up the business using resources available to you. You may not need to leverage the bank's money anymore. Lenders don't like you to do this as they make most of their money through interest repayments from homeowners' mortgages. Thus, they are more reluctant to fund a business versus an owner-occupied home purchase. This shifts the power to the business owner, and they get more control over the system. Once you gain more control over the system, you are considered financially free. Then you may choose to scale further and build more wealth via businesses and other asset types such as investment properties. We should always strive for greatness when we are aiming high for the skies. Adopt grit, persistence, and resolve to continue striving and overcoming challenges that arise. Once you know and understand how the system works and what it aims to do to everyone, then you get a better understanding on how you can navigate and forge your own path to greatness. Adopt the mindset. Continually educate yourself to gather knowledge and learn new skills so you can be well prepared to achieve your goals. Whatever journey and direction you choose, you must make sure it is conducive to how you want to live your life and conquer all challenges along the way for you to get where you want to be. Use what you currently have as a platform or stepping stone to get to where you want to be. This means staying in your job, especially if it's a high-paying job, to prepare you for the challenges ahead. Whilst you work your job, you should plan and form strategies on how you can break that cycle to reduce working income and increase passive income base. Slowly and gradually, as you continue working this way, you will build up your passive income streams. Aiming for at least 5 passive income streams, you will get to comfortably reduce working income over the years as you continue to build your empire. Once you build up your machine of passive income, then you can comfortably call the shots, be in full control, and only work when you want to work, not because you are forced to work. If you live in a capitalist country, then you are able to scale assets and build an empire of wealth. It is the epitome of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Capitalism is based on private ownership, free markets, and pursuit of profit. Individuals compete for jobs, status, and income. Wealth is found mainly concentrated at the top and is primarily due to compound interest, capital appreciation, and effective tax planning. This system rewards productivity but is not always fair. Essential workers or professionals are often underpaid, and jobs that are seen as menial are overpaid. This concept creates inequality, reinforces class hierarchies. People are often defined by their jobs or income and rarely sees measure of wealth as net worth. People tend to think having a high income means you are rich and wealthy. However, this is far from the truth, because having a high income does not mean most of that money is retained and grown to make more money. It is often used to purchase liabilities such as car loans, home loans, and other luxury items. Sure, you can afford it due to a high income, but what happens once you stop working? Most of that will disappear. There is not passive income when you are working a high-paying job. The rich and wealthy understand this and are always looking for income-generating businesses and property to scale their portfolio and create long-lasting wealth. True wealth is measured via net worth. This is the total asset value minus liabilities. Do an exercise right now. Get a pen and paper and draw a vertical line across the middle of the page from top to bottom. The top you can put an example number like 1.5 million and bottom as 0. Then calculate your total asset values, including all your properties, business, shares portfolio, savings, and super. Then you calculate your total loan or liabilities you currently have. The result is your net worth. Then, once you have your net worth, for example, $1 million, then write it in the vertical line and have a goal to increase it further to the $1.5 million mark. This is a great exercise to keep you accountable to build. I recommend doing this every 6 months to ensure that you are on track to achieving your financial milestones. To stay ahead of the game and beat the system, you need to think differently from the everyday person. Think big, dream big, and you will become big. Always see every failure, challenges, and setbacks as smaller than you, and no problem in the world is larger than you. You are bigger than every problem you will ever come across. This will ensure you will overcome them and beat any challenges in your way. It is important to never give up, keep on fighting, persist, and adopt a strong grit and determination to pursue every goal and aspiration. If you fail, accept it and see what went wrong and learn from it. Take it as a learning lesson, find another way, and move on. It is important to note that continue and finish what you have started. The concept of never give up, never surrender should be instilled in you as you are one step closer to your goals. Most of the time, people don't make it is due lacking the grit to persist and keep fighting through. They think it's a dead end and just give up. When you do this, then you are not going to make it. So please always continue on no matter what, and never give up. Never quit. Always fight and win. If you think like a winner, then you will be a winner. Life will always deal you a rough hand. It's how you handle the situation and solve the problem so you can pursue your purpose. This is how you can beat the system. Get out of that vicious cycle we all call the rat race and make something out of your life. Do whatever it takes to get it done. I highly recommend having a period of ghost mode. This is deactivating all distractions such as social media, news, games, entertainment, and anything that is not productive. Devote your full 110% focus on your purpose and build it up. Discipline yourself, and even if it means being in complete solitude. Sometimes this is what it takes to get to where you want to be. Don't tell anyone your plans and what you hope to achieve. Work in silence. Then once you emerge out of nowhere, no one will know what happened to you, then you catch them by surprise once they know you have achieved great success. So, what's your next step? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone who's ready to level up their financial game.